my religion right? Is your religion right? Is my belief correct? Is your belief correct? But the reality is this: we're probably all right. Everybody's probably right about everything. Start thinking about odds. Odds are a very interesting thing when you really start tearing down the math of it all. For example, if you were to die right now, and let's say my phone didn't fall off into and first off, what are the odds that my phone falls right then? Falls off, goes down there. The odds are 100% when you really break it down. What are the odds that it doesn't fall off? Well, when you really break it down, it's 100%. Because think about it. What are the odds that that didn't fall if you give it 1,000,000 years? Okay, maybe 0%, maybe 0.00001%. What about 1,000,000,000 years? What about 1,000,000,000,000 years? What about a freaking Googleplex amount of years or time? For example, if you died right now, right now, today, what are the odds that tomorrow, somewhere in the entirety of existence, you just pop into it for a split moment and then you disappear again? Well, you might say those odds are impossible. Those odds are 0. Sure, maybe they are for tomorrow. But what after 100,000,000 years? Okay, maybe there's a small fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent chance. What about 100 billion? What about 100 trillion? What about a Googleplex? Go to the Googleplex power. All of a sudden, you go long enough, the odds become 100% that everything is going to happen. What are the odds that the Big Bang is correct? Well, given enough time, 100%. What are the odds that it's wrong? Well, given the odds, after a certain amount of time, 100%. What are the odds that the multi-Earth theory, that there's every single possible decision that's ever happened since the beginning of time, since the beginning of everything, exists in some kind of fractured alternate reality? Well, given enough time, those odds become 100%. What are the odds that you're in a simulation? Given enough time, 100%. What are the odds that you're not? 100%. What are the odds that the Christians got it right? Well, given enough time, 100%. But what are the odds that they got it wrong? Given enough time, 100%. What are the odds the Big Bang never happened? Given enough time, the odds become 100%. It makes it really hard to argue with anybody about anything. Because after a certain amount of time, the odds are always going to equal 100%. And some people might find that to be kind of a scary thing to think about, but I think it's a very relieving thing. Sure, your consciousness happens to be tethered to this specific reality, these specific events. But due to time and the odds, at some point that's also not true. It's tethered to a different one. Because what are the odds that it would be? Well, we already talked about this. 100%. So what are the odds that throughout history, throughout time, whatever you want to call it, you will eventually be tethered to every single infinite possibility of consciousness, of you, of every decision, that you'd experience all of those decisions, and you would live through each and every one of them? Well, given enough time, guys, that's 100%. What are the odds that time doesn't even exist? 100%. What are the odds that time does exist? 100%. It's kind of a fucked up way to think about stuff. I get that. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. But given the odds, at some point, you'll be able to do it. Also, given the odds, you will never be able to do it. But both are correct and everything in between. So next time you want to argue with anybody, debate with anybody about anything, just know that given enough time, both of you will be 100% correct and 100% wrong. And everything in between. I think that could be a beautiful way to look at life. I think it can be an easier way to forgive people. I think it could be an easier way to just relax and enjoy the ride. Because it's never ending. And it's also never begun. And it also has an infinite amount of endings and an infinite amount of beginnings and an infinite amount of never endings and an infinite amount of never beginnings. Everything you could possibly think of. The odds eventually become 100%. Just to have a fun one here, what are the odds that I will spend the next 2 years having massive diarrhea coming out of me, nonstop, all over the place, everywhere I walk? Well, the odds might be right now 0%, because you might think, oh, the odds are you're going to die. You're going to die. Okay, the odds are that 100% that I'll die. But also the odds eventually will become 100% that I won't. Given enough time. Given enough time, everyone's right about everything. So when you're trying to figure out which religion's right, which belief is right, which whatever is right, the answer is yes. They all are. They all are wrong too. So you ever have like a memory where someone remembers you saying something and you're like, I know I didn't say that. There's no way I would have said that. Okay, maybe you're both right. You trying to understand deja vu? Well, if there's an infinite amount of possibilities, existence out there and everything, what are the odds that you'd experience deja vu and that deja vu would be you peering into one of those? We've already discussed this. 100%. It's also 100% likely that that's not what it is, which means that there's probably infinite possibilities of what that is. No, not probably. The odds say that it is. Odds are a fun thing. You want a belief system? Believe in the odds. Because when you believe in the odds, you literally cannot be wrong. But then again, 100%, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can be wrong. But you're also going to be 100% correct. It's fun, isn't it? I think it's fun. I have a great time. Anyways, I just wanted to go over some odds with you guys. And just let all of you know this time of year that no matter what anyone's saying, arguing with you, fighting with you about, you're both wrong and you're both correct. And until next time, as always, I've been slowly slipping into insanity and you've been along for the ride. Peace.